Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. Probably no wild animal of our continent is more misunderstood and maligned than the coyote. This wild dog of America is a wily and extremely efficient predator, but often blamed for more damage than it deserves, and rarely given credit for the remarkable good it does. The little wolf, as the coyote is sometimes called, has adapted well to living close to man throughout his vast range, which runs all the way from Alaska in the north down to Central America in the south, and from the shores of the Pacific to the east coast. Most often, the coyote is considered a resident of the Great Plains, and while it does live in abundance on our western prairies, it is also common in the arid southwestern deserts, as well as mountain habitat, both west and east, and in the swamps of our southern and eastern states. It's a great surprise to many people to learn that coyotes also live in the forests of the northeastern and north central states. Our story today deals with the coyote family in just such a woodland habitat. We call it coyote country.
Shortly after sunrise, overlooking a broad river winding its way through the northern forest, a red-tailed hawk watches curiously as a female coyote casually sniffs about, accompanied by her nearly grown pup, who is almost as large as she. These woodland coyotes are members of a family of 6. 2 adults and 4 pups, who live in a den in a clearing between the river and a pond. All of the pups are nearly full grown now, and soon will be on their own. Their den is a large hole at the base of a stump. Now, with 2 more pups entering from the woods, the family's reunited and ready for a new day's activity. The woodland den site remains the center of their activities, but their horizons are constantly expanding. Today, the family will head for the nearby pond, which the pups enjoy visiting. It's a small pond and not especially unusual, but each time they come here, there are new things to see and do. Still, there are important lessons to be learned. So for now, they pay little attention to the animal they've seen here before, a large otter who often hunts in this pond. As they begin their carefree romping about, not yet centering their activity on anything in particular, their mother picks up the scent of a formidable enemy who is new to this area, a big badger. He's a powerful and fearless fighter who must be approached with great care. This gives the parent coyotes an opportunity to teach their pups an important lesson: how to attack a dangerous and large predator. The object is to attack from the rear, keeping well away from the badger's fierce teeth. That's not easy, because even though outnumbered 6 to 1, this wary badger seems to be facing all the coyotes at once. The parent coyotes demonstrate the difficulty involved in trying to penetrate the badger's defense. Even if it's sometimes possible to catch the big badger off guard and successfully bite him, there's little effect. The dense fur and loose skin of the badger make almost any bite ineffective. With the otter a possible threat now, the badger knows he can defend himself better on dry ground The parents have finished this lesson and leave the area, letting the badger go on his way, while they set out to hunt alone in the forest. With the badger no longer a threat, the young coyotes, on their own now, decide that the otter might be an ideal subject on which to practice the new lesson. But how do you attack from behind when the otter is in the water? The pup is learning that his parents' lesson was easier seen than put into practice. Trying to catch this otter off guard seems almost impossible. His littermates aren't much help, especially the timid one, who always watches from a safe distance. None of the other pups show any desire to help, particularly the cautious one. The coyote pup is rapidly learning that it is the otter who has the advantage in the water. The coyote pup has come to the conclusion that he hasn't quite mastered the lesson his parents taught him earlier. It's all been a game for the otter, but the young coyote has had enough of sparring with the otter for now. The otter himself is tired of the game and decides to let the coyote pups continue their play and exploration by themselves.
Now with their parents gone out to hunt, the coyote pups set out to have some adventures of their own, adventures which could lead to trouble.
The coyotes are moving into a new area of the pond, and the otter has followed. He's hungry and knows that there are frequently frogs to be found on shore in this area. If he follows along below the moving coyotes, there's a good chance that one of them may startle a frog into the water. The curious coyote has a new experience, watching how another predator hunts. It's a tasty little meal for the otter, and he hardly takes note of the young coyote's exit. However, he does see something else. It's a big bobcat who frequently hunts the shore of this pond. Though he's a new animal to the coyotes, two of them are wise enough to leave at once. He's a tough old bobcat who's more than a match for any animal living in this woodland habitat. This sloping log happens to be a favorite place of his. One of the coyote pups, however, has let his curiosity become too great. timid coyotes been wise. Not until they reach the river does the bobcat become satisfied that his territorial claim has been properly asserted. He now decides to return to the pond. At the pond, the otter is still hunting, and one of the coyotes who ran off when the bobcat first appeared has now made the mistake of coming back to the log. Unaccustomed to encroachers on what he considers his domain, the bobcat is taken aback by the sight of yet another coyote pup on the log. It's too late to retreat. Having re-established his dominance, the bobcat ignores the garter snake, which is presently swimming across the pond, as well as the timid coyote still watching from the ridge above. He's lost interest in this area now and sets off to hunt elsewhere. The otter, unlike the bobcat, is very much interested in the swimming snake. It's a good thing the otter is already occupied with eating, or the mallard and her ducklings who have just appeared would be in serious trouble. The mother duck seems to realize that the otter's preoccupation makes this area relatively safe for her and the babies for now. With the coyotes chased away and the bobcat gone, the ducks can move about in comparative safety. Still, it's not a wise duck who makes too much noise or lets her offspring grow too bold. Coyotes, bobcats, and otters are not the only dangerous woodland predators. The splashing and quackings have attracted the attention of the alert red-tailed hawk. The hawk has missed, but he's still very interested in getting a duck dinner. Another miss. With 2 failures already, the hawk gives up. She's safe for a while, but won't remain here too long. She'll take her offspring elsewhere, away from such an abundance of hawks, bobcats, otters, and coyotes, including those more interested in observing than participating.
We found no matter what the time of day, the coyote family always seems able to find absorbing pastimes in their nearby surroundings, and this day was no exception.
For the coyote pups, it has been a long day full of encounters. They are realizing that danger takes many forms, and survival is never an easy matter. This lesson is proven for one coyote as a frog, seemingly safe on the pond surface, now that the otter's no longer hungry, isn't so safe after all. Not as long as big bass are around. Survival means meeting each new situation with caution. A snapping turtle is a new experience for the pups, and it's hard to see how it might be dangerous. The coyote's curiosity makes him ignore the danger signals. And so the pups are about to learn another lesson about putting your nose where it doesn't belong. Now leaving the otter behind, the pups strike out through the woodland. Their noisy passage alerts a woodchuck, who might have become fair game if they hadn't spoiled their own chances by being so loud. Stealth is another lesson of survival they need to improve upon. Too late, they realize they've ruined their chances. Nearby, closer to the river area, is a hog-nosed snake who senses their approach and quickly spreads his neck to make himself look more fearsome, even though he's harmless. The caution of the timid coyote makes the snake's bluff all the better. His courage failing, the timid coyote pup has decided to withdraw and rejoin the others and leave this snake alone. The other pups, in a woodland clearing nearby, have caught the enticing scent of a chipmunk who has carelessly strayed too far away from safety in his search for seeds. Abruptly, he senses two of the pups, but it's too late. Early lessons by their parents have paid off for this enterprising pup. The chipmunk lost, and the woodchuck has won in the never-ending struggle for survival. The timid pup has arrived late and now follows the others toward the river. Unfortunately for them, the bobcat is already there, and having once already experienced his anger, it would be foolish to invite more of the same. The bobcat hasn't seen them, so there's no sense in tempting fate. A return to the pond seems suddenly the wisest course. The pond area has always been a favorite place for the pups, a place where every day there's something new. Today, it happens to be a large skunk ambling along. He sees the coyote coming to investigate, but is not concerned. He's found a beehive. The skunk's fur protects his body from the bees, but they viciously attack mouth, nose, and eyes. More and more bees boil from the hive. They attack the curious young coyote as well as the skunk, stinging the pup's eyes and nose repeatedly. Despite the attacking bees, the coyote pup still wants to get a closer look at the skunk. But with more and more bees coming from the hive, the situation is becoming very painful. With the coyote so distracted, the skunk takes advantage of his chance to get away. The coyote eases the pain of his many stings by rubbing against the cool, moist earth. Now, in late afternoon, the coyote parents are returning to the little woodland pond, and the otter watches the joyful reunion of the entire coyote family. It may be the last time he ever sees them all together this way. Soon the pups will be off on their own in another part of coyote country.
It's true that in certain instances the coyote is destructive of some livestock, but on the whole, coyotes do far more good than harm. They are a tremendous natural check against overpopulation of injurious rodents and other animals, which would otherwise cause untold millions of dollars in agricultural losses annually. Through closer studies of the coyote and other predators as well, man is learning that bounties do far more harm than good. In recognizing the value to himself of many animals that he had formerly destroyed, and in refusing to act hastily in such matters, man is finding that he most often benefits the kingdom of man as well as the inhabitants of the wild kingdom.